dab me a hello. You dab me. You dab me. You dab me a hello. You dab me. You dab me. You dab me a hello. You dab me a hello. Welcome to You Dab Me at Hello. I am RJ, as always, Andy and Mikey. Cowabunga too.
Gee, it's a good thing the show's not live and we can just edit that later.
Yeah. If that's any indication of how this episode's going, it's going to be a good one.
Sorry, guys. I was at practice tonight. I play in a band at church, and we just needed to be perfection, and so it took a little longer than usual.
Especially for you.
Used all that perfection and took it away from this.
I did. But yeah, welcome to You Dab Me a Hello. I feel like this is also our week back. We took Thanksgiving week off. How was Thanksgiving, everyone?
Nice and quiet.
Yeah. I ate turkey and then leftover turkey, and then went to your Friendsgiving and ate turkey. So I ate a lot of turkey.
It was a good time. No drama or anything. Andy just didn't want to hang with us. So, but it was Mike came over, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday night. You usually have better things to do on a Thursday night, so I decided to do the same.
Yeah, this was a Saturday night, so way to mess that up.
Boo.
Listen, I'm wearing a shirt that says butts on it. Like, you trust anything that's coming out of my mouth right now?
No, Andy hung out with family. I hung out with people I like. So Mike came over and Kate, and I'm just kidding. Most of Andy's family's watching.
True.
So today we're talking about best animated TV shows. It's my least favorite topic we've ever done.
We could tell by your list.
You're a terrible person.
I was a 80-year-old man growing up. I watched Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore, F Troop, Get Smart.
Which is weird because you didn't vote for Looney Tunes or anything like the classic TV shows.
Yeah,
that's true. True.
So I don't know what happened there.
They were unnecessarily violent. There didn't need to be a reason to slam people.
Listen,
with anchors.
Do you see our list? And you're talking about unnecessary violence. We have Beavis and Butthead, Family Guy, South Park. What are you talking about?
As I got older, I did watch some of those shows. I mean, I watched a good amount of these shows that are on this list, but there are a good amount that you guys will have to take the lead on.
Robot Chicken.
In a couple of weeks, or sometime this season, we're doing the best horror movies.
Oh, that's gonna be awful.
All time, and Andy's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it was scary."
Ooh.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, The Ring."
That's pretty much it. Can we just sub that in?
The Ring.
It's just gonna be me sitting there. The Ring.
Hey, thanks for everyone for coming in and showing up. And our episode from last 2 weeks ago is being released tomorrow on all of the streaming services. So feel free to catch up over on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you might catch that. And then we have a new song coming out next Friday called Forgiveness. And it's probably one of my favorites that we've done so far.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a banging song. I'm pretty happy with it.
It's a bop, as the kids would say. Oh, it's a doozy.
A what?
All right. No, it's a bop. A bop.
Bop.
Nowadays.
Oh, wow.
It's a bop.
It's a sweet little ditty.
It's
so
a sweet little
check
ditty.
it out.
Not about
checking
checking
it
out.
I'm working on a good music video for it. I feel pretty good about it. So I have to get the approval from Andy, and we'll get that out. Andy is our fact checker, and
No.
race-
I am quality control. With you, there needs to be quality control.
I send him the video, and it's either like, "Oh, awesome," or it's like, "Can you change everything about this?" I feel like
No,
it
it's usually
promotes
like one
hatred
thing.
against some sort of group. Ah, man. But hey,
Mhm.
I'm excited. Best animated TV shows. Let's bring up the bracket.
Let's do it.
We have everything from Batman, the animated series, all the way down to Rugrats, a classic. So I'm pretty excited about it. You guys excited about this list?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I know we mentioned at the top of the show that, well, I mean,
think it's
pretty good
okay.
for me is a pretty high standard. You know, I'm a pretty negative person. All right, let's just be upfront about that. We said at the top of the show that some shows were omitted. Looney Tunes is not on here. Did we ever come to a conclusion as to why Looney Tunes wasn't included on here?
Yeah. Ask
I
RJ.
didn't like it.
RJ didn't like
Well,
it.
so
Got
all of the shows that we have on here, we actually decided live as we
Yes.
were just sitting together online and going through stuff. Every show that's on here has either been voted on by all three of us or by Andy and Mike later, with some of the leftovers that we needed to get to. So, but pretty much everything on here was voted by all three of us.
I think this was a super tough list. Like we got a good solid, I don't know, what, 10, and then trying to decide like the last like 5 or 6, whatever it was really hard. We did a lot of moving around. Shows that were on there, we ended up taking off because we're like, oh, what about this one? So when you're talking about all time, like that's a challenge in itself. There's so many great shows. So, you know, if you feel like this show should have been on there, yeah, probably could have. But I think when we get down to the nitty gritty, we're gonna have the best show, the best animated show for sure. You Dad Me At Lowe's stamp. Our 3 faces will be on there, and that's all you need.
I probably could get a stamp made at work. I'll get a stamp made. We can just.
Oh my God, can you? And just like stamp people's foreheads, like as you go by.
Well, not that part, but I can have a stamp made. Yeah.
Like, put a mask on.
Well, I'm pretty excited.
Not over your mouth, your face.
I am sure at some point we will get into the shows that we did not put on the list, and so all the haters and the people who are upset, you will probably hear your show later that did almost made it into the top 16. But as Andy said, top 16 of all time. I mean, that's like we spanned probably 40 years worth of cartoons here and animated shows. And there's so many new ones that should have made the list too. There's so many old classics and everything in between. So let's get right to it. This first one's not going to be easy for you guys, I have a feeling. Here it is. Batman, the animated series versus Beavis and Butthead. I'm just going to go right at it because I don't know Batman. I'm going to go with Beavis and Butthead.
Batman the animated series was a great show, but
sure it was.
It was. You're so sure it was that because it was. Did it have as much of an influence on me as Beavis and Butthead though? Andy, what are you gonna say? I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it easy and go with Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, okay. I didn't want to end it that soon, but all right. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead.
I know Batman, the animated series, is highly regarded as a really, really good cartoon. I think it was like a 9. It was rated as 9.0 on IMDb. And that's up there. That means it wasn't on that long, right? If I'm not mistaken. 3 years? Yeah. I don't really remember too much of it, to be honest, to give a true opinion of it. I just know it was a really good show. But you talk about the lasting impact that, a show like Beavis and Butthead has had on our lives and on others. A show that people, still talk about, whether in high regard or in low regard, it's still remembered.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
No, I was just gonna say, Andy, you pointed it out. I mean, the Batman the Animated Series is regarded as one of the best comic book television shows of all time, and it ranks pretty much number 2 on almost every list. IGN, Wizard Magazine, TV Guide ranked it 7th greatest cartoon of all time. So we are kicking out a show in the top 16 that has led to a ton of widespread acclaim. So even though I'm not too familiar with it myself. Mike, I'm sure you have a lot to say about one of your favorite shows.
Yeah, it was really great for the time. It was one of the sort of first, I guess, kids animated shows that had a little bit of a darker tone to it. You know, Batman in and of itself is kind of a tragic story. His parents get killed. He, becomes Batman, seeks vengeance, yada, yada. So the show kind of, played on that dark tone a little bit from the comic books. It created some new characters. But there was an overarching story that was actually pretty interesting that you could see, multiple characters kind of go through. And it also was the creation of the Harley Quinn character that we know from Suicide Squad. That's where that character really came from. And, so to say that show didn't have an impact on current culture would be an understatement. That show is definitely worth being on this list for sure.
And RJ, something I wanted to point out to you. So Robin's real name is Dick Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured that out, or I just found that out, and I was like, hey, our good friend Ryan Hanley, one of his characters was the orphan Rick Grayson. And I was like, that's where he got it from. Oh, man. So I was just like, I had an aha moment 20 some odd years later. So, you slip one by me. You slip one by
Shout out to Ryan Hanley, who is probably not watching our podcast and busy putting a baby to sleep.
Yeah, most likely.
While we're here neglecting our children.
Actually, on that note, I did want to share with the world. I have not slept for about 8 months with this baby. She does not sleep whatsoever. And yesterday, Jessie tried something new, and it worked immediately. And now she is taking naps, and she has slept through the whole night last night from like 1 to 8. It was great. So
listening to our show,
hoping that sticks up. Yeah. No, that's what puts our kids to sleep. Liam and Eliza. Eliza, I think, is watching right now, hopefully to fall asleep soon. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to share that good news. Next up, we've got SpongeBob SquarePants versus Ren and Stimpy. Two shows that are Ren and Stimpy, obviously more on the raunchy side. But I remember as a child or growing up, and then when I had kids, I never wanted them to watch SpongeBob SquarePants, and I don't know why now. But
this is super tough for me. I need to hear your thoughts first, because
I'm going to go with Ren and Stimpy. That was actually one of the shows that was on after a show I watched all the time. And so I would kind of walk into that and kind of, watch Ren and Stimpy. It wasn't one of my favorites overall, but I have not watched really one episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. So Ren and Stimpy for me.
Missing out.
I feel like
Kevin.
I feel like SpongeBob was after my time. I feel like I missed the SpongeBob boat. But I know it's really popular. Even with adults, I know like it was some crazy number, like 17% of their audience was like adults in their late 20s, early 30s or something. So I guess I just didn't jump on the bandwagon. But I'm going to have to go with Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, man.
But I can see why.
I mean, SpongeBob didn't really come out until about 1999. We were in high school by then.
Yeah.
So.
That doesn't mean I was watching cartoons in high school. Don't try to be mature about this.
I would have voted for SpongeBob. So my brother was a kid during that time frame, so I was watching that show. It was something.
Once.
Only once. He was once a kid. Yeah. We watched it a lot. My mom still watches it, still loves it. I had shirts for SpongeBob, like Patrick Star's hilarious Squidward. Like we started, like just in conversation would be SpongeBob quotes. My mom still does it. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's SpongeBob, and I'm like, I don't remember that episode. Like. There's so many great memes from SpongeBob now too. Like it's been on this long. Like Ren and Stimpy was really short.
Yeah, it's only like 4.5 seasons.
Yeah, so SpongeBob has kind of transcended time a little bit. And yes, older people like it. There's a lot of adult humor in there as well. One cool thing about SpongeBob, if you don't know, he's got this really distinct laugh. So
Can you do it?
that is my natural laugh. People tell me that I laugh like SpongeBob all the time. So the person who does it has to hit his throat with his hand repeatedly while saying "ah." Dude, just hire me, man. I'll do it for free, and I don't have to do all that funny stuff. I would always laugh people at work like. Holy
Wait,
crap.
can we have a battle here? Who's better, Andy? Can you do it now? Come on.
I don't think I can do it that way. I have to be. Oh my.
Sorry. Can you do that one more time?
You'll do that one more time. All right, hold on.
Ah! That one would sound like it hurt.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
it's good. It's good.
Holy
Well,
crap.
With that being said, SpongeBob SquarePants is no longer in our list. However,
Holy
man,
crap.
they won a variety of awards: 6 Annie Awards, 8 Golden Reel Awards, 4 Emmys. SpongeBob won 4 Emmys, 18 Kids' Choice Awards, 2 BAFTA Children's Awards, a Broadway musical based on the series. It is definitely not without.
It's been
acclaim.
movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything.
Maybe it would have done better had it stayed with its original name, Sponge Boy Ahoy. But they found out that was a mop, so they had to change the name.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We've got
Get outta here,
King of the
Sponge
Hill
Boy.
versus Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Now, guys,
Oh boy.
this would have been hard for me 2 weeks ago.
I'll tell you what.
because I never watched King of the Hill or Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I watched some King of the Hill back in the day, but Jesse has been watching King of the Hill every night during bed. And so I'm trying to sleep and having to listen to this in the background, and I'm laughing. But don't tell me that. And so I'm actually going to go with King of the Hill. It actually holds true today. I was listening to it as I go to bed, and it's funny. It's a funny show.
What is it? King of the Hill and who? Aqua Teen Hunger
Aqua Teen
Force?
Hunger Force.
Sorry, let me.
My
Bring it
wife,
up.
my
Yeah.
wife,
Now I.
cannot stand Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I absolutely love Aqua Teen Hunger Force and everything about that show. It is absolutely ridiculous. There are some points in that show where I've never laughed so hard. But I also love King of the Hill, being Mike Judge, also the creator of Beavis and Butthead and Idiocracy, if anyone's interested in seeing that movie. What do you think, Andy? What do you got?
I didn't really get into Aqua Teen Hunger Force until like later, and I've never really went on with continuing to watch it. Whereas King of the Hill, I watched a lot. And when I grew up, I wanted to sell propane and propane accessories, and haven't been able to live that dream. So I'd go with King of the Hill.
God dang it, Andy.
This is just going to be Mike impersonations.
I love Aqua Teen. I can see why you guys don't like it. It's way absurd. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a show about anthropomorphized food. The main character is a giant milkshake named Master Shake, and you've got Meatwad, who's a meatball, and Frylock is McDonald's fries, and he has superpowers. And
Makes sense.
Yeah, and they have a neighbor named Carl who likes Buffalo Bills and hair metal, and at some point he ends up in an altercation with a robot voiced by Danzig. The show's awesome. It's you don't even have to take drugs. It's just one of those shows.
and definitely don't watch the Dora episode, but watch it. Not with children around. Yeah,
it's not.
And their theme music was by Schoolie D. Schoolie D was an old school 80s rapper, and that gets some points along.
Too.
Yep. Is it? Oh, well.
Yep.
The more you know.
H. John Benjamin was also the voice of a character who we'll get to one of his shows later. He was a moth that stalked the house and kept telling them to turn their lamp on.
Well, next up, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus The Simpsons. This one is a tough one for you two. I can already tell. What are y'all thinking?
This is the toughest decision I've ever had to make in my entire life.
So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this is the first cartoon series, right?
Yeah.
That we're thinking of? All right.
Yes. Not the best one, in my opinion, but it is
Not
the one we're talking about. Not the best one. Not the best cartoon, in my opinion.
I mean, this is the one that we grew up on.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I had every single Ninja Turtle.
1987 to like 1999 or something like that, right?
96. Yeah.
96.
I mean, it had 10 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch this. I like it. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm actually a huge fan. One of the 5 fans of all 3 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movies.
Even I don't like the third one.
Oh gosh, it's so good. What's better than Turtles in time travel? But I will say The Simpsons has the longevity. It has the humor that still stands today. Not that you can't go back and watch a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today, but I would probably have a lot of hate mail if I didn't say The Simpsons.
Yeah, I'm going with The Simpsons.
Yeah, that would have been my choice as well. Believe it or not. So it's the guy wearing the Ninja Turtle shirt.
Yeah, I think my remembrance of the show is more based on me having to have every single action figure and shirts and pajamas and sheets on my bed had to be Ninja Turtles. Like, I was engrossed in that, but like, as far as really like now remembering the cartoon, it's all a blur. It's how many years later. Whereas The Simpsons, again, like RJ said, longevity. I mean, they've predicted the future how many times? So that's that's a whole other thing. So the
Ninja Turtles cartoon show was created purely as a vehicle to market toys to children. So the first couple of seasons were really had nothing to do with the comic books or anything along those lines. As the show went on, and I think they had more viewers, and they realized that their viewers were growing up, the show got a little bit more mature. But it still never really touched what the comic books were. And if anyone really wants to enjoy a Ninja Turtles cartoon, the 2012 cartoon was a great mix of the comic books and the 80s cartoon, plus introducing new characters. But it was so well written, so well animated. Anybody could watch that show. It's phenomenal. So, sorry.
Yeah, and Shredder was voiced by Uncle Phil. So
that's right.
That was pretty cool.
Uncle Phil was the Shredder.
Next up, we have Doug versus Family Guy. This one hurts a little for me. Doug, in my opinion, can't stand up to Family Guy, but Doug is a great show. I love Doug. It was such a fun show as a kid, but I'm going to go with Family Guy on this one for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a competition here. Family Guy for me.
Yeah, poor Doug got put up against Family Guy.
Doug. He's got to have to draw a cartoon of him in his underwear.
I used to. Oh, it's Quail Man.
Quail Man, that's what it was.
Man. Yeah, with the belt on his head and the pillowcase for a cape. Yeah.
Yeah. Skeeter, Patty Mayonnaise.
The problem with Doug, though, is that the original run was 4 seasons on Nickelodeon. They ended up moving it over to, I think, was it Disney or ABC? And they ruined the show. It was just terrible after that. Wasn't as good. But I loved that show, man. It was a fun show, but it's not something that's that memorable for me. Like, I don't remember a lot of any of the storylines that happened there, other than Doug was like super obsessed with what's her face? Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty Mayonnaise.
But that's pretty much it.
The band The Beats.
Oh yeah.
And his neighbors, the Dinks.
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
So the Dinks was DINK is actually an acronym which stands for Double Income No Kids. So it's actually it's a slang term that refers to a childless couple who are both people. Where both people work and are therefore more affluent than families with dependents.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I found that fact out.
We messed up.
Oh, for sure. Like, where's my money? I don't have any more. I'm no longer a dink. I'm just a dummy.
Well, Doug is out, and Family Guy is moving on to the delight of our audience here tonight. They all voted for Family Guy.
Sure, they're doing jumping.
Well, I put it up. There's like 3 or 4 Family Guy votes.
Oh, that's true.
Next up, Animaniacs versus South Park.
This is no contest for me. Animaniacs all day.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
All day. All day.
This is no competition for me. South Park all the way.
Oh boy.
What is RJ gonna do?
RJ's gonna disappoint one of his friends.
That happens every day. Yeah, man. Animaniacs. I never watched it ever. South Park for sure. I watched South Park when I was younger. It grew old to me very quickly. I know people still love it today. I wouldn't watch it today probably, but South Park for sure.
Animaniacs is still really funny. I was watching some highlights the other night. There was way more adult jokes in that show, I think, than we realized. Yeah. Not to mention it had the spin-off Pinky and the Brain. One of those characters voiced by Rob Paulsen, who was the voice of Raphael from the original Ninja Turtles. Wasn't
Bart Simpson's voice in this too?
A lot of the folks involved were originally involved in The Simpsons and vice versa, I believe. But yeah. Really funny show. Somewhat educational, I guess, because they always had that little weird geography thing at the end and the Wheel of Misfortune. Really great show. Kids can watch it, adults can watch it. It was kind of like, Pixar before Pixar.
Yeah, I don't remember too much besides liking it at the time, but I couldn't replay anything memorable in my mind.
All right. Well, hey, moving on. We've
got
like
March.
Robot Chicken versus Bob's Burgers.
Dang. This was a tough one for me.
This one is tough. I don't know.
But
I'm just gonna let you two hash this out.
Oh, I was gonna let you lead. That's a problem.
I mean, I can lead. I have not seen one episode of either of these shows.
Holy crap! You're a garbage human being.
But due to the fact that I know more about one show over
Kevin
the
just
other,
wants burgers.
I'm gonna go with Bob's Burgers.
He's hungry.
He's hungry. Kate says butts. I have a shirt that RJ is not going to show any of our faces because he's so disgusted by ours. I have a shirt literally for Bob's Burgers, one of many Bob's Burgers for me.
Yeah, I can back that up. I can back up Bob's Burgers.
Damn, you look good, Mike. Why don't you back that thing up?
The funny thing about Bob's Burgers is my wife couldn't stand that show. I would watch that show all the time. She hated it. She
I have butt
hated
sex.
that show.
It's called underwear, Kate.
There was an episode that.
What if they made socks for your butt? What if that's a thing?
Called underpants.
Can you put on those sexy butt socks? I'm totally saying that to Jesse tonight.
Don't wear the brown ones.
Gross. There was an episode that she watched, and why am I drawing a blank? The wife's name.
Because of butt socks.
Linda.
Yeah, Linda's dancing in the kitchen and singing while she's making dinner, and Bob's making dinner. He's just going, stop, please stop. And my wife she was like, oh my god, this is us.
I was gonna say, what's not to like? You're literally watching.
Yeah, it's us.
Yeah.
I mean, our kids are definitely getting weird, but I don't know if they're that weird, but they're getting there.
Yeah, Zoe likes the show. We'll talk more about Bob's Burgers. Let's talk about the greatness that is Robot Chicken.
So good.
Yeah, I got into this early. I think I kind of phased out. Like it's not really a show of progression. It's kind of like the same stuff kind of over and over. So I think at some point I was kind of like, all right, I'm kind of over it. But Seth Green, from his mind, essentially, just Breckin really funny
as well.
Breckin Meyer. It's just so weird, which is enjoyable, and like the way they created the show, like, it was such a unique show. I think that's kind of what made it, and the celebrity humor that was in there as well, like kind of like South Park, where they make fun of people, but I think a lot of celebrities got in on it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they would voice themselves. Yeah. You could probably name a celebrity and they've been on one of the episodes of Robot Chicken, because they pretty much lampooned everything. Pop culture, cartoons, TV shows, music, politics, other cartoons. Literally anything you can think of. It's every segment, would be like, I don't know, 15 seconds, but somehow they would jam like 30 jokes in there and you're laughing the entire time because it's stop motion action figures, like just doing the weirdest stuff. And then they had Star Wars episodes, which are absolutely hilarious. Just watch Robot Chicken. It's really good.
Yeah, I kind of want to. I got one of the DVDs over here. I almost want. I actually have Paramount Plus as well. I might fire up a couple episodes later.
Really good.
And get a good giggle.
Paramount Plus, $4.99 a month. Go check it out.
Sponsor.
That's a good deal.
Anyways, hey, next up and the last of our top 16, Celebrity Deathmatch versus Rugrats.
I feel like this is the weakest bracket of them all.
What? What do
I'll
you
let
mean?
you get.
Well, first off, wait. Celebrity Deathmatch was fun for what it was. When that first came out, it was awesome. I loved it. I was ready for it. But after like the second season, you're like, okay, we're just watching the same thing but with different, people. But I remember at the time, like, oh man, this week it's going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, or like,
it was like the hottest thing for a while.
Yeah,
it was. But
it was really
Rugrats,
popular.
timeless. Rugrats is now available on Paramount Plus, and they rebooted it on Paramount Plus, and it's actually pretty good. I watched the first episode with the kids. It's very different. It's very computer animated, very different feel to it, but it's still cool. They actually updated it so that the grandpa's a little younger, and he's like in the first episode he's like doing yoga, and I think they dug deeper into one of the kids' moms is a lesbian or something, so they dug deeper into that, which I think they hinted towards in the original series. But and then they also dig way deeper into how the parents are like those kind of hipster vegan type parents, and so it's cool. It's a cool show. But I'm gonna vote Rugrats for sure all the way. Tommy Pickles.
Yeah, Tommy Pickles' parents are definitely blazing up in the other room while the kids were causing havoc for sure.
I was going to use the word careless, but I guess that also would be careless.
What are you going with, Mike?
Rugrats is a much better show. RJ kind of hit the nail on the head that after the rugs after the initial
I just want to see Kevin's just like one word, like half the answer, burgers, rugs.
Oh, he was probably eating a burger with one hand and just typing with one hand.
Rugs. Simps.
Yeah.
Stimpy, baby.
Turtles.
Yeah, the
mutants.
Mutants. The gimmick of Celebrity Deathmatch kind of wore off after a while, where Rugrats at least had, some variety, I guess. He put his burger down.
we need some sort of entertainment on this show, Kevin.
Are you not entertained?
I would have gone with Rugrats.
Yeah, I agree with you guys.
Rugrats moving on. Again, Celebrity Deathmatch. I think we've talked about that in past
We've-
episodes
yeah.
too. It was a good show. If you haven't seen an episode of Celebrity Deathmatch, go back, watch it. It's super fun. If you've seen it, you've seen all of them. But like, go back, watch them. It's really fun. There's a lot of celebrity names that you'll remember that are still around today that were on the show. So really cool.
And Mills Lane. Let's get on.
That's true. All right. Well, hey,
Beautiful
we're
ball
in the
game.
top 8 now. We have Beavis and Butthead
Oh
versus Ren and Stimpy.
no.
This is a tough one for you, but I'm gonna already just vote straight up. Beavis and Butthead. Ren and Stimpy, I only
Straight up,
watched
now
by
tell me.
accident. Never sought out Ren and Stimpy, but Beavis and Butthead, I was into that for a long time. When the movie came out, I was super excited. Beavis and Butthead Do America. So I'm gonna go with Beavis and Butthead for sure.
This is tough,
But
but you don't want
Beavis
to
and Butt Socks.
you don't want to shorten the other one.
yeah, I know.
The Beavs.
Mike,
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it
sure.
easy for you. It's Beavis and Butthead.
Okay.
Even though I had a Stimpy figure.
I have
Yeah, there you go.
I have
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a Ren plushie around here somewhere.
So I made the mistake of showing my children some clips from Beavis and Butthead, and now they
Oh,
all
no.
call me Butt Munch. all the time.
Shut up, Bud Munch.
And like Liam's running around the house like, yeah, what?
Oh, that's the worst. I can only imagine my mom was just like, Jesus. But yeah,
Shut
I
up,
mean, Ren
Jesus.
and Stimpy was
RJ's
RJ's gone. He is so angry. He just left. He can you imagine if he just like killed the live stream on accident? Oh, that's even better. At least it was worth it.
I forgot I had headphones on. Sorry, guys.
What a butt munch. I
Yeah.
agree with your kids. So Ren and Stimpy was not as vulgar as Beavis and Butthead, but definitely had the hint of it. Like, they had "Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence."
Mhm.
They had rubber nipples.
Powdered Toast Man. You had to
Powdered Toast Man.
grasp firmly onto his buttocks while he flew through the skies.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Powdered Toast Man. I love that.
Great show.
Yeah. There was the other guy, Kowalski, who was a jailbird. And the favorite part, me and my uncle always do it. Like, what do you want? What do you want to eat, Kowalski? He's like, meat. I'm like, all right. What do you want on it? He's like, meat. And they're like, meat on meat, eh? I'm like, what do you want to drink? Meat. You heard him, Snippy. Get him a meat on meat with a glass of meat. So dumb.
The show was originally intended to be much raunchier. And
How?
eventually it went from being a Viacom property, same as Beavis and Butthead, to all of a sudden, like almost last minute, hey, this is going on Nickelodeon for kids. And they had to like scrap a bunch of content and cut a whole bunch of stuff and change the show. They still left a whole bunch of stuff in, like all the boogers and farts and peeing and stuff kids find funny, right? And I still find funny. But
It's log.
yeah, log, better than bad. It's good.
Well, hey, ads of 2021. Guess where you can stream that? Paramount Plus.
The DVDs in my house. I have those
Ooh.
too. They
Watch
did
them on my
reboot Ren and Stimpy, and that was way too raunchy. Even for my taste, it was a little too much.
Wow. That
Yeah.
says something.
Did they say wiener?
No,
Oh.
no, they
they
use
say-
different
did they-
words.
Did they say booby?
Probably. I didn't get through all 6 episodes.
Well, next
Hold on.
we have King of the Hill versus The Simpsons.
Hmm.
Mm.
I'm going with The Simpsons on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Simpsons as well. I like King of the Hill, but more now than ever. But Simpsons, I watched The Simpsons for quite a while in the 90s. I did stop, but I see clips here and there. It's still a good show. So I'm gonna go with The Simpsons.
Yes, I will agree with both of you.
There was an old video game of The Simpsons, and I can't remember the name of it. I want to say it was like Bart's Nightmare.
Where you had to spray paint. Oh no, that was Bart versus the Space Mutants. Bart's Nightmare was on the Super Nintendo.
There was one where
That was
like you
good.
you could choose different mini games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Bart's Nightmare.
And like one of them like was a baby in a tree, and it
Mhm.
would like go across the branches. Super cool game.
Yeah, sounds it.
It was a good game. It was fun.
Oh, that sounds like a super interesting concept. Just a baby going across a tree.
There was more to it.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm
all that-
hoping.
that's
I'm
just
hoping
all
there
he
was.
remembers. His dad brain just can't handle all.
Well, I haven't.
brains.
It's Super Nintendo. I haven't played it in a very long time, but
Oh, maybe because you're a butt munch.
well, let's talk about King of the Hill. I mean, King of the Hill was a Mike Judge and Greg Daniels creation. Tons of people on this show on the voice acting. It's a funny show. I'll admit. It was set in Texas with the guy who sells what is it?
Propane and propane accessories.
So, this show actually has a tie-in to a couple of different shows.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they made an appearance on The Simpsons in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
You had Hank, Bobby, Peggy, a bunch of other people, and then it's Mike Judge. So a lot of the similar voices from Beavis and Butthead. Mr. Anderson, who became pretty much Hank. I remember watching King of the Hill for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, that's Mr. Anderson." I was like, "What?" Like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, that's Mick Vicker." Sorry,
that is.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, man.
But a
So
funny
good.
show. It's so funny. Them just like standing on the front lawn, just drinking beer, and what was it, Dale? Who's the guy who just mumbles crap?
That's Boomhauer.
Boomhauer. That's it. Yeah.
That was voiced by Mike Judge, actually.
Yeah.
Rubber.
I mean, Stephen Root is in it, who's a really cool dude from News Radio and Office Space.
Wyatt
He's
Cenac.
Bill. And then Brittany Murphy played Luann. So that was pretty cool. I didn't know that until recently, but
neither did
I. But yeah, there it is. Well, hey, here is the battle of all battles. Here it is. Family Guy, South Park.
Oof. I feel like for a lot of people, this could be a final for some people.
I already know what I'm going with, so I'm gonna let you guys talk.
Anybody at home? Family Guy, South Park. This is probably the battle of animation here. We have one already for Family Guy from Kate. Thank you. But Family Guy versus South Park. I am gonna go with, just because there was a span of my life, probably in the mid 2000s, in which the entire friendships that I had with people were based on quotes from Family Guy. So I'm going to go with Family Guy for sure. Looks like Kevin's with Family Guy. Lori is with Family Guy as well. Somebody else should say something. This is a podcast, people.
Mike.
Oh, I was going to let you drag this out a little bit because I'm going with Family Guy.
Oh, well. It wouldn't have been much help because I'm also going with Family Guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 3-way for Family Guy. Let's talk about South Park a little bit, because that is a huge show. Still is. They just did a post-COVID episode that I think is available on Paramount Plus.
I just watched it.
I think if I went back and watched South Park, I would have more of an appreciation for it. But and I get the show, right? They make fun of everything and everyone. But they're kind of smart about it. And it does bring up a lot of conversation based around some maybe not so easy topics to talk about. But then there's also some episodes where they just go off the rails. And there was an episode, I don't remember exactly what happened. All I remember was Jesus had an AK-47 and he was like killing terrorists, and I wasn't I wasn't in tune with what they were trying to go with. And then after that, I think I watched a few episodes and I just kind of bounced off it. It never really stuck with me like Family Guy did.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. Like there's a line between their social commentary, which is really funny, versus just crazy, just absolute like absurd. Yeah, they kind of lost me with the absurdity for the most part. But then there's just really like dumb, funny things like Mr. Hanky.
Of
Was
course,
always
you like
funny.
Mr. Hanky.
Mr. Hanky.
The
Actually, if you
Christmas
watch,
Pooh.
he may or may not appear in the post-COVID episode that they have on Paramount Plus. I will say, if you're looking for really great social commentary, that is the episode for you. Yeah, South Park, I kind of got into it a little bit when it first came out, and then I kind of stopped. And I did have friends that continued to watch it and would like tell me about things that were happening, and I thought some of it, sounded funny, but I never actually like went out of my way to check it out. Whereas Family Guy, I still watch. I'm caught up pretty much. So
Yeah, I still watch Family Guy, and not to say we talked about South Park being absurd. I mean, Family Guy certainly you could put even in the same category, right? They have a lot of episodes about like legalizing marijuana, and they had a whole.
But they don't go to the
about...
extremes like South Park. Like
no, they don't.
I mean, did they? I mean, I feel like they had more than one Jesus episode on Family Guy.
Yeah,
That
but
was,
Jesus
like,
is
a little
funny
over
on
the
Family
top.
Guy.
yeah, that's the way they do
I
it is
feel
a
like-
little funny.
There was a couple of times I was like, even I can't do this anymore. Like, it's a bit much. But then
There was-
Family Guy
yeah,
has so
there's
many
been
like
couple.
where they stands up and he's just like, time to hit the old dusty trail. It's like just ongoing jokes like that, and like him fighting the chicken. Like,
Look
just
at
funny
me.
stuff.
I'm not wearing any pants because I'm Winston Churchill.
How about when he says? How about when that episode that where he's like the group comes to the door and he's like, "Hey, '90s black guys, here's the 2000s or the '80s black guys," and they just start shooting each other. Like, it's just so over the top. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But South Park, however, I just want to read something I just
I did
saw.
not remember that. That's what?
It's actually really funny. So he wants to hang out with a bunch of black.
I don't
guys.
think you need to explain it any
Right.
further than you already did, RJ. If
And-
you want to go down that
He's
road.
with them. He's with all the 80s black guys, and then a knock at the door, and it's 90s black guys. He's like, "Go 80s black guys! It's the 90s black guys!" And they come in with guns and start.
I don't even understand what that joke is.
I don't know what's going on.
And then the father.
I think you should
who's
just
there,
stop
who's
and we should
super
just talk about
racist,
South Park.
the father who's super racist says, "Just don't write on my jacket." Like, it's so
What?
over the top.
What
Like,
does it
yes,
mean?
you need to go watch this. It's
I don't.
hilarious.
Doesn't sound like I need to. Hey, something funny about South Park. So Cartman's mom
Mhm.
is her name is Leanne. She's quite promiscuous. So Trey Parker named her after his former fiance, who he caught with another man, and that's pretty funny. That's a good dig. And then Terrence and Phillip. So they created these two characters
From
essentially
Canada.
because from Canada, because they were getting complaints about the show being nothing about bad animation and fart jokes. So they created them, who all they do is fart and make fart jokes. So
Yeah.
I like how they would get like some bad press and they would just like roll with it.
Just,
Like
yeah. Just lean into it 100%.
Yeah, I think we should move on before RJ starts telling some other weird crap about what's been on these shows.
I don't understand how you could be a Family Guy fan and not know all
I don't remember that.
shows.
I blocked that
I will
out.
show you it when we are done. It is amazing. But moving on, we have Bob's Burgers versus Rugrats.
Oh, boy.
Bob's Burgers.
Rugrats.
Oh, crap. I relate more to Bob's Burgers. Rugrats was a good show back in the day, but Bob's Burgers is good now. But I think that's just because I'm old. But yeah, I got to go with Bob's Burgers. Bub's Burgers.
Or Bub's
Bub's
Burgers. Let's go with Bub's Burgers.
That's a new show.
Oh, crap. What the hell is
That's
All right,
Bub's
well, hey.
Burgers?
That's the kids' version.
Rugrats is out, but let's talk a little bit about it. Rugrats, I think it's a great show. My kids watched it for a little while. They grew out of it pretty quickly, but Rugrats has a 2021 TV series now on Paramount Plus. They also had a bunch of made-for-TV specials, all grown up. I think was one of them. There's a spin-off series called Rugrats Preschool Days. It's a cool show. I mean, I like it. The theme song is great. They did a theme song to Rugrats by Maya, maybe.
Take
with a bunch
me
of other
there.
people.
Yeah.
Take Me There, yeah.
Blinky blink.
It's a great show. But yeah. Anything
Yeah,
else?
I mean, I don't really remember memorable moments from it. Just Chucky and this crazy red hair and Tommy Pickles and his little brother Dill Pickles. It's clever. It's so clever.
That is pretty
Phil and
clever
Lil.
when you think about it.
It is.
And Angelica. Angelica.
Oh,
the bossy
Angelica,
one.
yeah. Yep. Raptar.
Reptar's the best.
That's
Well,
it.
guys, how do you feel about this top 4 here? Beavis and Butthead, The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers. I feel
That's
like
a pretty
Bob's
damn good
Burgers
list.
is kind of a weird option
No,
to
it's
be in
not.
here, but that's
No, it's
fine.
not.
I think it deserves to be there. It's a little bit more recent than the other shows, but
It is a recent classic.
yeah, if you go and not to say too much, but if you go and look at approval ratings and viewership for Bob's Burgers, it definitely deserves to be here.
All right. Well, here we are,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, RJ.
Beavis and Butthead, The Simpsons. How y'all feeling?
Torn.
y'all feel? Oh, he's Natalie and Brulia.
Yeah. I didn't know that song was a cover, by the way. That song's a cover.
Is it?
That's foreshadowing to later in.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Series,
I think
yeah.
I did put it on my list.
Is it? I think you were the one who put it. Yeah.
I
I think I probably came across the same realization. I was like, oh, that's a cover. Damn.
I gotta go with The Simpsons though.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, then
As
it
much
doesn't
as I
matter.
love
I'm gonna go
Beavis and
Beavis and Butthead, but
This guy.
I would watch Beavis and Butthead today, and I don't really care about The Simpsons, but I do like The Simpsons. I mean, I did like it. It's a great show. It deserves to be here. But let's
still
talk about
watch The
Beavis and Butthead
Simpsons.
a little bit.
Oh.
One of my
what
favorite
else can we
shows. Yeah, one of my favorite shows growing up. But I've tried recently to watch an episode, and I can't really get through much of them. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the magic for me back then was because I was a kid, and the words they were saying were new and hilarious to me. I think the laughing constantly definitely now drives me a little bit crazy, whereas I could kind of overlook that as a child. The other thing that I'm missing out on is, and I've said this before, is the watching of the music videos and making fun of the music videos.
Yep.
I would be in tears laughing at these, them just talking crap about the music videos, and you just don't get that now. They could show a music video from now, and I'd be like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Let's watch WAP.
I mean, I can make fun of that myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Beavis and Butthead definitely had a huge impact on pop culture, both positive and negative. But
A lot of negative.
a lot of negative.
A lot of controversy.
Yeah,
Well, they thought Beavis and Butthead was turning this country upside down, apparently.
Yeah, well, they also said that about Bart Simpson at one point too. So what do they know?
Don't have a cow.
Yeah, don't have a cow, man. I didn't do it. Yeah, but The Simpsons, I still watch The Simpsons. I still love The Simpsons. So, not that I don't love Beavis and Butthead.
Ooh, you're in love with The Simpsons.
Ooh, jealous.
Well, here we are. Family Guy. Bob's
RJ's
Burgers.
moving on.
Family Guy. Bob's Burgers. Family Guy for sure. No contest.
Well, yeah, because you haven't seen one of them.
That's true.
No contest. It's the one show I've watched. Oh gosh.
I hate to say it, but Family Guy. I love Bob's Burgers, but Family Guy.
Yeah, me too. I'm in the same boat.
All right,
Wow.
Family Guy, moving on.
Sorry,
As
Bob's
usual,
Burgers.
before we get into the top 2, we have a couple things to discuss. Number 1, is a new segment that we do.
We're not gonna talk about Bob's Burgers. You're so dismissive towards Bob's Burgers. You're like, we don't even need to discuss them. It's a garbage show.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we can talk about.
He
Bob's
doesn't.
Burgers.
RJ doesn't have anything to say about Bob's Burgers, but
I am completely fine. Let's talk about Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I mean,
What about it?
this show at first they were supposed to be cannibals, and the meat that Bob was making in his hamburgers was supposed to be human
meat.
flesh. Yeah, and they thought it was a little too dark. Well, see, and you were about to cut us off, so now you've learned this one tidbit, and you know not to do that again.
It still made it into the first episode, though. The episode Human Flesh, where they get shut down for having human flesh in the burgers, but ultimately it ends up making them very popular, and people come from all around to get a burger with with human flesh in it. So good.
There's so many. There's always a fart joke in every episode. They make sure to get that in there. It's usually by holy crap, I can't remember the kid's name. Why am I Tim? He misses
Timothy,
the
I
first
think
hour.
you
He
meant to
comes
say,
in.
"Whoops, missed the whole show." Our show's not 3 hours long.
One time I went to a stand-up
I
show.
feel that way.
I went to a stand-up show. I went to go see Joe Coy, and we had like pretty good seats. And like literally, he was at the point where basically the set is over, and it's now they're just kind of talking to the crowd and like doing that. In comes this guy with this girl at this point, and he comes up and sits in the front row. And at this point, Joe just stops the show and just goes off on this guy. He's like, "Why are you even here at this point? You've missed the entire show." Literally, he went on for like another half an hour just going after this guy, and it was probably the funniest part of the show. That is you, Tim. You just missed it.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining, and we appreciate your viewership.
Super
Saving the
show.
best for last.
Won 2 Emmys.
Missed the whole thing.
We just lost on one of our 10 viewers.
Forever.
Timothy's like, "Well, F this show."
Yeah. But Bob's Burgers won 2 Emmys in 2014, 2017. And was also voted third best show of 2013, 20th best show of 2014, 35th best show of 2015.
It's been on that long. This show
It's been on for a
come
very
out.
long time.
Really?
They're on season like 11 now, I think. Or
They're
12.
on 12. I just looked it up. So when did the show start? 2011. God.
Yeah.
And my wife Tina one year went as Tina for Halloween at work. Oh no, that's war.
I already broke mine.
Shoot.
From playing it too much.
Yeah, from playing too much. I actually prefer Lauren Bouchard's show before Bob's Burgers, which was Home Movies. And H. John Benjamin was Coach McGurk. And he's like my McGurk. He's my spirit animal. He's just the grumpiest, crankiest guy like ever. So good. He was actually on Dr. Katz a couple of times too.
Dr. Katz.
Yeah. Yep. That's the lineage.
Well, we're here, guys. I don't think anybody's surprised by this top 2, Simpsons and The Family Guy. But before we get into that, we have to get into
I forgot.
We are here. Wrong logo.
No, that's where we are.
Well, it's supposed to be this little logo up here.
Oh,
But yeah, we're here with the dad jokes, our bad jokes. Hope you are ready for laughter. Mike, take it over.
Oh, I'm starting this week. All right, Andy,
No,
get ready.
I just feel like you
Get
were-
ready, Andy.
All right.
Doctor, I've broken my arm in several places. And the doctor said, well, stop going to those places.
So dumb.
All right, Andy.
Never
All
said
right,
they were
RJ.
good.
You'll like this
Wow
one.
me.
God spoke to John and said, "Come forth, and you shall receive eternal life." But John came fifth and won a toaster.
All I've heard that one before, but I do enjoy it. So Andy wins.
Oh man.
Nice.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Andy.
Poor choice.
What do you
Poor
got
choice
for
on
me?
my part.
Oh, it's me again. Okay.
Yeah, me versus you, I assume. Yeah.
Hey, guys. How do you follow Will Smith in the snow? You follow the Fresh Prince.
I was kidnapped by a mad scientist who experimented on me. He replaced my limbs with animal ones. If I ever see him again, I'll tear him apart with my bare hands.
RJ's delivery alone made that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Honestly. All right.
Oh, guys. You guys remember Chad Kroeger from Nickelback?
Is this a joke?
I don't know. Do you remember him or not? Answer the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently, he loves being in nativity plays. He's playing a shepherd. He's played an innkeeper. He's even in the back end of a donkey once, but he never made it as a wise man.
That's a good one for Nickelback fans out there.
Never made it as a wise man.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
What's 50 Cent's name in Zimbabwe? $400 million.
Oh God.
So who won that
And you're
round?
canceled.
Oh man.
Andy's not a fan of racism, so he's gonna vote for me.
That's not racist. It's just that's
economics.
that's a conversion.
Economics.
I gotta go with Mike on that one.
Yeah.
What?
Makes you-
Oh, that Nickelback one was like my winner
That-
there.
It was good.
Listen, it was a tight race there.
It was good.
But it was a joke about Nickelback.
After 3 shows, we are in a 3-way tie with 3
Wow.
points.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're good at
All right.
this.
Cool.
And Tim, that's called yarling, by the way. There's an actual term for that.
All right.
What?
Well, hey, we are in the.
I like how RJ says I hate racism, so I'm not gonna vote for something like like that's a bad thing. Andy hates racism.
Simpsons, the Family Guy. Let's talk about the Simpsons a little bit here.
Let's talk about it. Longest running primetime comedy series, as well as the longest running primetime animated series in U.S. television history.
Yes. That is factual.
Yes, you are.
First aired on December 17th, 1989. And this was after its run on the Tracy Ullman Show. So they used to run little bumpers on the Tracy Ullman Show.
Mhm.
And then eventually, they got a whole thing on Fox. And then also a movie in 2007, which is pretty good as well.
Spider Pig.
And
And
I would normally take your advice, but you didn't see any of the show prior to this.
Yeah.
You have no idea how it got here.
And you'll hate to know that we kicked out your favorite show in the first round. So sorry about that. During the years that The Simpsons has been on, over 240 other shows have debuted and been canceled on Fox.
wow, that's a fact right there.
That is a fact.
Fox
And-
was all my favorite shows.
And Bret Hart was in an episode.
That's right.
That's
he was.
true. That was
Come
actually
on.
a really good one. Yeah.
Many wrestlers.
Many wrestlers, many celebrities, many good celebrities, many bad ones. Donald Trump. They've
Michael
predicted
Jackson.
the future numerous times. As I said before, this is a whole episode where Homer is famous in Japan as Mr. Sparkle.
Sakura.
Yep, there's that.
So good. So good.
So there's so many things there.
That's a
RJ
great.
is deep in thought.
It's one of my favorite episodes. We have the magnet of Fishbulb or Mr. Sparkle on a refrigerator. That's a great one. Michael Jackson also wrote a song for the show called "Do the Bartman," but he was not credited as Michael Jackson. he used his alias John J. Smith.
Hmm.
Yep, received no credit for it. But the song did top the charts in UK and Australia, so he could have made money, I guess, but he didn't. Do the Bartman.
Do the Bartman.
Mm-hmm.
What about Family Guy? How you guys feeling about Family Guy?
I still watch it. It's one of those things where I'll kind of get in like a Family Guy mood and like watch like a bunch of episodes, and then I'll stop for a while and be like, oh yeah, I got to catch back up on a Family Guy. And it's one of those shows where if it's funny, if it's a funny episode, it's really funny.
Yeah.
But they also have some episodes where like I go through the entire episode and I'm kind of like, that was kind of a miss. I think every show has that, but I've definitely thought that to myself a couple of times. They have a lot of Rhode Island, New England type humor, which is right up our alley since we live in that area. Seth MacFarlane is just super funny.
Very talented.
They sing. They make fun of Meg constantly.
Meg. Well, they make fun of Meg. Their excuse for making fun of Meg all the time is because they said they don't know how to write for a female character.
Yeah.
Which is obviously a joke because Lois is pretty funny in her own right, in all honesty.
Do you know what Meg's name is? Her real name?
I have it in my notes somewhere, but I can't find it.
It's not Megan. It's Megatron.
That's right.
I mean, Family Guy is just it basically again was my mid 2000s. Like we just made fun of stuff all the time. Like all the quotes from our stuff were from Family Guy. We just quoted scenes all the time. So many good people in that: Alex Borstein, Seth MacFarlane, Mila Kunis, Seth Green, Patrick Warburton, a lot of other people who make appearances: Adam Carolla, Norm Macdonald. Just a ton of really cool people.
Adam West.
Mayor Adam West. Yeah. It was
Adam
a great one until his death. Alexander Breckenridge.
And they even spawned off the Cleveland show.
Yep.
That's
as
true.
well,
Yep.
Which is kind of like a very random because Cleveland's such a small part of that show. So for him to get the spinoff I felt was a little odd. That show was pretty funny too. Because Cleveland, even though he's a small part of the show, is a really funny character.
Yeah, he grew on me on that show.
Quagmire.
Well, I'm going to just throw the vote out there. I'm going with Family Guy over The Simpsons.
You're going with Family Guy?
I'm going with Family Guy over The Simpsons. This is it right here. What are you doing?
This is it. Mike.
Oh, Simpsons for me. As much as I love Family Guy, The Simpsons played such a huge part of my life. I've been watching that show since the first season, if I remember correctly. And I didn't miss an episode for the first, 14 seasons. When that show was syndicated, it would be on channel 25 from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then I would switch over to Fox and it would be on from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. I used to watch that show for 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday. That's how much I love The Simpsons.
All right, so we got one for The Simpsons. We got one for Family Guy.
That sounds really sad saying that that I watch 10 hours of The Simpsons on a weekly basis.
Yeah. I watched The Simpsons a lot as a kid. Oh man, just a lot of memories of that show being really funny. Family Guy, I've watched every episode since it started. But there's one show that I stopped watching. And there's one show I still watch. So sorry. You can hate me now. I'm like Nas and P. Diddy. I'll go with Family Guy.
Boo.
There it is. Family Guy. The best animated TV show of all time.
I hope you're happy with your incorrect answer.
I'm not. I I probably made a mistake there, but I'm going off of my personal opinion, and I just can't get myself to pick up on The Simpsons again.
Well, I've been watching it on Disney Plus again recently.
Oh, it's another good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I went back and started watching some of the newer episodes. It's
You don't know the
funny.
shame that's already in this house, Tim.
And you know what? I think The Simpsons for a while didn't quite click, and I think the absurdity went away, and I think they tried to, I don't want to say make the show a little bit more mature, but they tried to make it less zany. But I think now going back and watching some of those episodes, I prefer the less zany and the more like direct, stupid Homer humor because he's really dumb. But still funny.
I think there's like a fandom with The Simpsons that is so beyond my comprehension. Like people quote The Simpsons all the time. We watch Botchamania, and it's constant clips of The Simpsons, and it's stuff I've either completely forgotten about, or I'm like, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about because it's been around almost as long as I've been on this earth. So it's like, I mean, Family Guy's not much further behind either.
It's true.
You know, they do crossovers with each other all the time too. So honestly, it was a tough choice. I could have gone either way. I think probably more that I think about it, I'll probably remember a little bit more of the fun that I had watching The Simpsons, but it's just pure, like, I kind of outgrew it, unfortunately, where my child humor stuck with me for this long with Family Guy.
You got to go back and watch some of The Simpsons on the wonderful streaming service Disney Plus. Wink, wink. Disney Plus.
We're just trying to get free yearly subscriptions to these.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to sponsor the show, that's fine. But free Disney Plus is nice too.
Hey, Pluto TV. We watch
Tubi.
Tubi, yeah, Tubi.
Oh man,
guys,
so what?
I'll start it off. I didn't have a ton of animated shows that I had on my list, but some of the ones that did not make it that I wish did. We have the Magic School Bus. We had Roughnecks, the Starship Troopers Chronicles. We have the Berenstain Bears and David the Gnome, if you're going to go super classic.
We kicked
that's
out
pretty much
Hey
it for
Arnold.
me.
We kicked out Hey Arnold. That never.
Hey
Never
Arnold
saw
was a
Hey
good one.
Arnold.
Football head.
Yeah. Crackle.
I watched a movie on Crackle once.
Me too.
I have Tubi and Pluto. I watch that all the time. Pluto's got the American Gladiators channel.
Yeah.
I watched The Critic on Crackle. It was when I first got Pluto. When I first got Roku, and I was like, I just want to watch something free. And I was
the
like,
Roku channel's coming up, man. The Roku channel
it
has
is.
some good stuff on there.
So, Mike,
What
do you want
else
to?
did we miss?
Looney Tunes, Futurama.
Looney Tunes, yep.
I went really
We
old
got some
school,
hate
like
for Futurama.
yeah, I went really old school, like Popeye, Scooby Doo, Flintstones. Like I grew up on those. DuckTales, Rocky and Bullwinkle. If we're talking about current shows, Big Mouth, extremely dirty, extremely funny.
Never
is one that never watched it.
No,
It's on Netflix, and you can watch Netflix for about
I have Netflix. Yes.
$12.99 a month or something, whatever it is now.
I mean, no, I don't have Netflix. I would love to have Netflix. Adventure Time, also not on here. And the Regular Show are really funny, and they're like teenager funny, but they're really good. Adventure Time more adventure-y. It kind of has the type of show in the name, but there's definitely some darker undertones to that show where there's only one human left and a bunch of mutated creatures, and it's suspected that there was like a nuclear war and he survived. And then Regular Show is awesome. There's just a couple of guys and they do zany stuff, There's an episode where they just get into some crazy antics because they have to set up folding chairs for an event, and somehow they mess that up, and it ends up them discovering some 1984 Coca-Cola from the Olympics in the attic, and then they drink it, and some guy comes to a party, and it's Andy Samberg. It's weird. It's so good. Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, those would have been my picks as well.
All right. Well, hey.
What do we got next week?
Andy?
What do we got next week?
I have no idea.
Is it time for Christmas songs?
It is. It's the best Christmas songs. It looks like I have my list on here. Andy. Oh, and Mike. We all have our lists on here. So.
Oh, Mike, you updated your list?
I sure did.
We will try to combine those lists.
I didn't know how much I really enjoyed Christmas music until making this list. See, Tina calls me a Scrooge. If anybody knows me, that's probably pretty accurate.
I think it runs in my family.
I like Christmas music. I don't want to hear it 24/7. But man, there's some ditties on there.
You have the longest list by far. You have double the list that we do.
I suspect that a lot of those songs came from Tina.
She said that somebody would say that, but no. This was an independent list. Wow. There's a couple songs that she was like, "Hey, did you remember that one?" I was like, "Yeah." Okay.
You know when Tina says you're too Christmas for me, that there's something going on there, because Tina shops for Christmas all year long.
Yeah.
She literally brings home things in April, and it's like, "Oh, look at this! I got free snow." Like just crazy stuff.
Now go in our basement. Anybody want to do some Christmas shopping? Go in our basement for some.
It's like my brother. My brother, man, he goes to CVS like the day after Christmas and just buys everything for no reason. So he came to my house one day. He's like, "Do you want some fake snow?" It's like the canned snow. he had a basket of them. Like there was like 25 of them in there. So we had a lot of fake snow one year.
Hey, you sell it for twice the price next season.
Just mark it up.
Then he never sells it, and he just has it in a storage container. That's it.
But
anyways, hey, thank you
Not
guys for joining us for another great show of Udamia Hello. I tried to let all the people I play in the band with know about it, and they did the whole like, "Oh, that sounds great," but then no one ever asked about it after that. So
all the time.
We'll see if any of them watch tonight, but I will keep. All I do is I'm always like, "Oh, guys, what are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh, I got this or that." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to be on a live show right now. Udamia Hello, you should check it out." So
we'll see. Trying to sell the show to the people watching the show right now?
Are you trying to what?
Are you trying to sell the show to the people watching?
No, I was saying that's what I did tonight. I just keep saying, "Hey, come and watch the show." But
gotcha.
I mean, if you like the show, share it. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
But hey, we are glad.
Or share with people you don't like. That's even better.
That's true.
Like if you hate somebody and you're like, "This show's crap," like share it to them. Like they'll enjoy it.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great night. We love you. Nope, that's just a picture. Yeah.
It's a nice picture.
I'll wait for the video to show.
It's very reminiscent of The Simpsons.
It is.
Yeah, it was. That's why I picked it. Very animated TV show like.
I like it.
It's better if it's the video like this. But I won't play the whole thing. But here it is. Have a good night. You dab me a hello.